Hitesh, you do Shiona speed dating.
Yes, we're a
Can you tell-
Leicester-based agency where we do them for all the Asian religious categories: Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Hindu and Sikh over 30 events. We started out when we realised that they did them in London, Birmingham, places like that, but we never really had anything like this in Leicester. So we thought we'd just start it in Leicester. Obviously, having such a big Asian population, we thought we'd give it a try, and they have been successful. So we thought we'd keep going, really.
So speed dating, how many minutes do you actually have to speak to somebody?
Right, well, this kind of varies because I've been to a couple of the speed dates myself.
Are you single?
I'm not, no.
Okay, all right.
But I've been to, obviously when I wasn't single, I went to somewhere there was kind of 3 minutes. You had to talk to the other person, and on my experience, I didn't feel that was enough. 3 minutes, I know it's speed dating, but it's just like it doesn't really give you enough time to get a sense, of who the other person is. So ours kind of run on 4 minutes, or possibly may think of doing it even 5 minutes. We've even had issues where people say, well, 4 minutes is not long enough either.
I think it takes a lifetime to really find out what another person believes. I'm sure you'll agree with me.
I don't think there's a set time for how long it takes to get to know someone. I think you could say, well, I could get to know someone adequately for maybe 6 to 9 months, before you decide you want to spend the rest of your life with someone. But the way we work is that you've got 4 minutes. If you like the person, you just mark their number. If not, you can leave it blank. But we always insist that you don't wait till the actual dating begins before you mingle with someone. You've got a good hour before dating begins. So in that time, you can obviously integrate with the rest of the people in the room, or even after the dating. So, it's just a good way for people to network and socialise, really.
Well, what kind of people are coming to your speed dating events? Are there are the parents aware that their children are going to a speed dating event or an event that you would be hosting? Are parents aware of this?
That's a good question. I don't think they are most of the time, to be honest. I think if they are aware, there's probably a few parents that are aware, which is why, sometimes when I go out and advertise these sort of events, you'd be surprised a lot of people don't still know what speed dating is. I think a lot of people go out. It's a kind of very discreet way of meeting people. But I think it's changing now. Speed dating is dating the 21st century because nowadays people haven't got time to, go out and do, the other things that they've tried. So in kind of like arranging speed date events, we're not trying to say that the other things don't work. We're just giving people an alternative.
But you do, and both of you, do you guys do events that are primarily, say, for Muslims or Hindu Punjabis and Gujaratis? Are they segregated quite definitively, all these events?
I'll speak for certainly for the London events that I participated in. A lot of the London events are themed events aimed at Sikhs and Hindus, so they run events for Asian London, but they also run events for diverse groups as well. And they've also started putting on Muslim events where they're using coffee shops, for example, in Moorgate, etc., where obviously they're moving away from the bars and the restaurants and choosing more appropriate venues for that particular client group. And I think with Birmingham, we are also looking to put on events for Muslim professionals, again using possibly coffee shops, etc., and away from the large restaurants or bars, etc. But again, with Asian Single Solutions in Birmingham, we are going to be launching Muslim events, but also we've targeted events at Hindus and Sikhs aged between 23 right the way up to 38.
Right. Now, see, I spoke to a couple of friends before the show when we were talking about speed dating and networking events, and my male friends were saying that actually, hey, if they were looking for a date and they were having a hard time at the regular bars, they might just go to one of these events because they know that the women that are there would be up for going out because that's what they're there for. Do you get a lot of guys that are just there to play games?
Yeah, I think there's a good percentage of guys that are there just to kind of pass time. It doesn't matter to us why they're there for, really. But we find that...
But it should, right? Because, if the guys are showing up to these events because they think, hey, you know what, the girl, whoever I'm going to meet is obviously tried everything else, wants to get married, and this is why they're there, so they'll be open to a couple of drinks, a couple of dates, hey, whatever,
Well, we want to kind of leave it open. Obviously, it is a speed date event, and people want to meet people, to kind of develop relationships. But we also want people to have a good time, really. So, people are looking for different things in relationships. And the things about speed dating is when we say that you tick the other person's number. You're not taking them because you want to marry them. It's maybe because you just want to get to know the person a little bit further. What happens from there, obviously, we don't intervene at that point. It's up to the individuals that have been matched. So upon that point, we just kind of leave it to the people that have matched each other and take it from there. Whatever the nature of that relationship is up to the individual.
So I think these events are trying, I think they're aiming to arrange people a love marriage, make a love connection somehow through this kind of arranged introduction.
It might not even be marriage. It could be just companionship. It could be whatever the couples want, really. I mean, I guess there are specific bureaus where they're kind of aimed at just marriage or aimed at, or even a specific kind of relationship. We don't have a set theme where...
But aren't you then just doing what a bacholi does, making the introduction, take it wherever you want to get to? Obviously, you're charging a ticket price, so that's what your payment is. But isn't this just an extension of my masi introducing me to somebody and hoping that it works out?
I wouldn't agree with that. I think when you go to these events, I look at things holistically, and often people are there, yes, to network and to meet their ideal partner, but I think other issues, for example, Hitesh mentioned socially, you meet other people who may have had similar experiences to yourself, and you may have other sort of stems that come off that, where people think, oh, actually, I know about meditation, or I know about this, or have you heard about, a professional walking club? Have you heard about this? And I think other things stem off that, and it's not just, it's companionship, it's friendship, and also a chance to network and potentially meet your ideal partner.
I do understand that point, and I know you've both made it that, it's a networking thing, it's a social thing, it doesn't necessarily have to be marriage. But when you do a speed dating or a networking event and you're catering to the Muslim community or the Hindu Punjabi community, you're kind of keeping everybody else out. So why, if I wanted to go socialize or network, why would I cut it down to just Muslims or just Sikhs or just Hindus? So it's not just networking, is it?
It's not really keeping everyone else out. I think when you say keeping everyone else out, I think a lot of children come to these events. Sorry, not children, but
young adults. Young adults, yeah.
I would say, whoever's in the age category. It's up to them to decide if they want to include third parties. Obviously not going to bring their parents to these kind of events, but if they bring friends, maybe cousins for support, we leave that up to the individual. All we do is we set a stage, and obviously we prepare whatever we need to, and obviously they come in. And I think in the past there's been too much of where third parties are intervening, and I think that's been one of the issues. And now we're saying, well, we want to sort of put that aside and leave it up to the individual, because I think that's important.
Maybe my point is this. I'm a romantic, and I think that, when you fall in love, you fall in love. You don't ask the person for their religion, their caste, their weight, their bank account, or what their father does for a living. You fall in love. So when Asians as a community in England are already such a community, a small community, why divide it up even more? Why not just have, Asians, whether you're Hindu, Muslim, or Sikh, we have that commonality. We're all South Asian. So why not open it up to just everybody, and maybe that would be a way to unify the community as opposed to point out our differences that we already know exist.
You could do that. The only problem is, as a business, at this point, it wouldn't work, because from the feedback that we've had anyway, people won't turn up unless they are sure that it's for their religious category.
So we haven't actually moved as far as we think we've moved.
I can speak for Asian Single Solutions, because they put on events in London and also in different parts of the city where they're open to a diverse group.
Is the turnout smaller for those events than there are for events that cater to a specific community?
I think it's again to do with the individual. It's a question of choice. If you feel that you wish to go to an event where you're going to meet white European, mixed race people, Afro-Caribbean, then that choice is up to the individual, and the doors are open for that individual to participate should they choose.
Very interesting, and we can talk about this for the next week and a half, but we have to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a minute.